There it goes.
There we go. All right. So we just sort of record these just for purposes of notes, and if anybody wants to kind of reflect back on what's in them. But we just got final confirmation of, well, I got it yesterday, but I think I was off for 4 or 5 days unexpectedly. So I saw it yesterday, but we did get permission to use final agreement from Albany that we can use electronic signatures on all of this. So that is good. We will not have to do wet signatures. But yes, the game plan will be, my internal goal is by Friday to have a final, draft budgets and all that fun stuff from all of our local people put together, so that we can get it out and get everyone saying yay or nay. And then by early next week, it will be out to the counties so they can go through their processes for signature. So let me now that I've kind of finished that stray thought, going on to the actual meeting and what I'm hoping to accomplish today. I have to apologize. I did not get, there it is. I did not get my homework out to you. So really there's a couple of things I would like to accomplish today. One, I want to reconfirm all the contact information. This is the latest that's on the state website. Then after we accomplish that, I would like to tackle some of the draft verbiage that I was negligent in getting out to everybody. I'd like to kind of do a quick review of that, and hopefully everyone can kind of modify or tweak what I've kind of thrown down. And then from there, I'll begin compiling the actual MOU templates and shooting them out. But I won't be doing that in today's meeting. I'd like to get at least as far as confirm up the contacts, confirm up the actual written verbiage, so I can gather the last few remaining budgetary people budgets that we need to kind of get plugged in, and that's that table 3. So that's my goal today. So looking at the latest, greatest on here, this is still current here. I've not heard of any changes to this. I don't know. Has anyone heard any changes? I don't think we have any Title II folks on our call today. I'm looking at my list here. Derrick. Derrick, remind us again what you represent, Derrick.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Derrick Holtzclaw. I'm with Office of Children and Family Services. And quite frankly, I'm not really sure why I'm on here. I know that I did receive a meeting notice, and it's popped up on my calendar a couple of times. I was not able to make the last one, which I believe was a couple of weeks ago because of a conflict. So I just jumped on today. It's only a few people on here that I recognize, like Phyllis Morris and a couple of other people. So I'm just trying to figure out why I'm here.
All right. So I apologize, Derrick. I went through here, and so Derrick, you are on here because New York State Department of Labor has shared with us that locally you are the signatory for Title IV Commission for the Blind.
Okay.
And will ultimately be signing on this MOU that we've done here. It states on here that Amy Carino is your negotiator. So you and she.
Yeah, so Amy, I believe, is with CB, Commission for the Blind, and they are, they're like a division within the Office of Children and Family Services. I am the Deputy Commissioner for Finance and Administration, so all of these types of MOUs and contracts, I do sign on them.
Okay. Well, that's why you're here, Derrick.
Outstanding.
Somebody in Albany said, you know what, you can't do an MOU without having Derrick at the table. So we said, you know what, of course.
Okay, well, here I am.
I say that tongue in cheek, please. I'm just having fun.
Understood.
So I've not heard of any changes from Title II. We'll reconfirm there. DOL, Stacy, welcome aboard. I still don't actually have who's going to sign. Is Commissioner Reardon going to be the signatory, or do you know yet?
I will double check with Steve. Just a side note I put in there, he wasn't able to log in, so he's not going to be joining us, but he seemed to be having difficulties as well. But I will double check on who the actual signatory will be. The only thing to change for that one would be my title has changed from employment counselor, just in case that's important.
Yeah, it will be. We'll want to have that. So this is what I downloaded this directly off the Department of Labor website.
Okay.
So you may want to just kind of shoot up to Steve to have them make any changes to this.
Okay.
Because I can change it locally, but it won't show up on here.
Okay.
It's a state document. So Jack Lance was at our last meeting, but I've not heard anything in terms of follow-up from Jack, so I'm assuming he's moving forward, but we'll touch base. Derrick, when we get to the final product, as I shared, we'll be sharing with you for signature. I have received, and Tina, you can certainly correct me, Brian is the official negotiator, although I think he's kind of internally appointed you and Beth to kind of work on that. But as far as signatories, my understanding is that the county executive, Chris Moss, will be signing for the TANF E&T ultimately.
That is correct.
Yep. And Joanne, will you be signing for the Schuyler County E&T for the TANF funds, or is your chairman going to be signing? Did I lose Joanne? Joanne?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I sent you all of our information for the changes. Carl Blowers will be the signator, our chair of our legislator.
Yep.
It was Dennis Fagan before, so that will need to be changed.
Okay. All right. So we will get all that information. I'll find it. You sent me a bunch of it, and I just downloaded a fresh batch here. So from the state. So we'll go back through and coordinate that. Kathy Muller, will you be signing, or will your chairman be signing?
My chairman will be signing as well, Scott Benetton.
Okay. All right. So we'll need to make sure. We'll have to update that with the state as well. Title V, Office for the Aging. We don't have any representatives operating in our area. Neither do we have any SEP operating. We talked earlier about the Jeff Moretti has attended some others, so I know he's been actively negotiating, and we'll follow up with him on Signator. Job Corps, we've talked to Chris Kuhn, emailed, and so we'll be gathering stuff from them. We have no youth build in our area. I've not heard since our first meeting from Andrea and her team, so they will be a priority push for us on that front. Sally, you've sent us a lot of information for ProAction, so we're in good shape there. Laura's still going to be your signatory, correct?
Correct.
Okay. For the Housing Authority E&T funds, we have had multiple outreaches to Lee Dillon. I don't know who Lee Dillon is. I actually left Lee a voicemail probably about 20 minutes ago as a kind of gentle reminder. We've not been able to establish connection either via email or via telephone with Lee. So if we can't, then we'll have to kind of notify the New York State Department of Labor and use that channel.
So Lee Dillon is supposed to be our housing authority?
So the housing authority, there are multiple housing authorities that operate within our area. Elmira has one, Hornell has one, but it's not the housing authority. It's the housing authority that gets employment and training funds. So if a housing authority receives WIOA E&T funds, then they're a partner, but not all housing authorities get E&T funds. I was surprised to see, and I have been surprised all along to see Lee Dillon's name on there. Because it would be complete new, it is new news to me, but not being able to get any response Do you know Lee by chance? No? So.
No, I'm
Anyway.
just trying to figure out who our housing authority is.
I think there's one down in Elmira. They're not terribly responsive, but they also don't get any E&T funds, so they've never really done a lot with us, unfortunately. We don't have any Native American programs. We don't have any second chance programs. And I've gotten both Jeffrey and Patricia have been participating well, and I've gotten all their information. So our partnership, really, being that we're a rural area, we have a lot of gaps in terms of services. The signatures and the partnerships are going to go pretty quick. Or that's the intent. So in terms of the actual MOU, what I'm hoping to, let me see if I can get this one here. Hold on. Yeah. What I'm
Dan,
hoping. Yep.
Dan, did you have us for the CSEP? I think you said there wasn't a CSEP in the area, but we do run the CSEP program.
Yeah, the state has it as a. Are you a national grantee?
We go through SSAI out of Maryland, and we do cover Chemung, Schuyler, Steuben, and Allegheny.
All right. So right now the state tells me that we don't have one.
Okay.
So I would, can you double check with your grantee that you're getting WIOA Title V, from this verbiage that's right here, that you're getting your source of funds comes from one of those?
I will.
Because if they say yes, then we'll need to include you in there.
Okay.
And I just realized I'm sharing the wrong screen, so you probably don't know what I'm talking about here.
And Laura is in the waiting room if you want to add her as well.
I can't see her in the waiting room. I'm going to hit the request to join and see if that pulls her in. I don't know what's going on with Teams today. All right. So I'm going to try and share the not grabbing both of them. All right. So what you can see on the screen, and I don't know if you'd like me to make it bigger for visibility purposes. As most of you will remember from the prior meetings, the template has been provided by the interagency state team, and there's very little in here that we can actually change. So I went through and I have put in our name because I can put that in. I will put in the points of contact as we just discussed through here. The service provision locations. I've gotten, for those of the partners that have already shared me their information, I will plug them in as well. The next place where we can actually have input into the process or into the system is down here on the tables. And I will take all your tables and plug them into the respective pieces as well. This right here is where we needed to write. And the agreement at the last meeting was that we were going to use the interagency release of information form really as our primary tool to tell the customers how the referrals are going to happen, because it had been agreed to and has been agreed to and negotiated by all of the state agencies. So what I did is I actually stole some verbiage off of the document itself. And so what I'm recommending in here, and we can certainly adjust this verbiage, is that the WIOA Interagency Release of Information Form was developed and approved by New York State Department of Labor, New York State Education Departments, Adult Career and Continuing Education Services, Voc Rehab, and the Adult Education Offices, State Office for Children and Family Services, the Commission for the Blind, the Office for the Aging, OTDA. And the purpose of this document is to provide one universal release form to be used by the New York State Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act WIOA system to easily refer participants between partner agencies. So what I'm suggesting that we put in the MOU is this document, right, is really the only really controversial, and I'm not even sure how controversial it is. The only real commitment here is that this document will serve as the foundation for referral activities within our local workforce development system. All security protocols relating to personally identifiable information and personal, private, and sensitive information when sending information to an agency will be strictly adhered to. So really, I state kind of the obvious, which is that the interagency and all the state agencies have already agreed to this tool. And then realistically, in terms of referrals, we're agreeing to use this as the foundation for our referral activities within our local workforce area, and that will follow all the PII and PPSI requirements. I think that summarizes. Going with kind of the theme of the overall template, it does not appear that there's a great desire to have a lot of verbiage, and I think the more verbiage we have, the longer it's going to take for the lawyers from the various state agencies to kind of fine pick through it. And so I went with probably more honestly than what I would normally have done, except that I wanted to kind of state all the different agencies that have already agreed to use this document to kind of maybe hopefully kind of expedite it through their legal teams in Albany. So thoughts, opinions, did I stray from what we talked about last time? Do you want to add stuff, subtract stuff? Please, the floor is the partnerships. Do I have
Looks
everybody
fine with me, Dan.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this? Tina, Kathy, Sally, Derrick, I know this is your first meeting, so you're kind of getting thrown into the meat of this. Laura, I see you on my screen now. I'm hoping you're with us when I say this. Anyone else's thoughts on this?
Dan, this is Kathy. Unfortunately, I couldn't hook in remotely on the computer, so I can't see it, but we'll look at it when it comes through. The only other caveat is our attorneys will have to review it. I'm sure there isn't going to be an issue, but just to put that on the table.
Yep. So, yeah.
Just how it is.
Yeah, no, it is. All three counties, yep. It's going to go through the 3 county legal teams plus the various state legal teams again, and lawyers being lawyers. The challenge will be we really kind of want to send something to them that they're not necessarily going to want to make a lot of changes to, which is why the exact words, and again, you'll look at it, but the exact words really here are this document, meaning that release of information form. This document will serve as the foundation for referral activities within the local workforce development system. And then a statement, all security protocols relating to PII and PPSI when sending information to another agency will be strictly adhered to. I don't think it should have too much of a problem. So
we'll be the first to let you know.
But you were one of the counties. Well, yep. Or
well, there was more to it than the legal language in that document last time. We don't need to revisit that.
Confidentiality, if you can see on the screen here, we just agreed not to add additional verbiage to the state agreed language that was in the template. So the 3 paragraphs written and agreed to by the state teams we kept. And as you can see on the screen here, I've simply deleted that sentence. And this is where, so we at the last meeting we talked a little bit about, and I kind of shared that I thought it might be important in today's cultural climate to kind of reference some inclusivity type of language, or some of that beyond just the other paragraphs here that are agreed to by the various state legal teams. And I don't know if I'm even close. So what I wrote here really was more of a aspirational type of thing. And so what I wrote was and I'll quote, CSS LWDA, local workforce development area, system partners envision a service delivery system that helps everyone find their unique employment opportunity in the world. This means our system continually celebrates the diverse community that different, well, I got to put that in there, the different individuals cultivate. The partners commit to stay true to this mission by ensuring a system that can be anyone's system. Did I go way out in left field? And please, I'm not married to this language. So honestly, if you guys think I buggered that up something fierce, I'm open to changes on it. Thoughts? And I promise again, I will not be offended at any. You tell me it's garbage.
I feel I would I'd like to see it in hand. I'm listening, but I do much better when I read it.
All right. So let me see.
Can you email it to me?
Well, that's what I'm just trying to do here. If I can. So I'm gonna, for those of you that, so what I did is there's two sections here. I kind of moved them out because the template that the state created for us is a great tool, but when it comes to fillable and making changes to it, it's a real bear. So I'm gonna try and save this and send it to you, Kathy. You can all. All right, and then let's see if I can get it to you without. Can everyone else see my screen that needs to see my screen on this, or do I need to try and shoot this to different folks?
I can see it, but it's very small.
Okay. Well, I can fix that.
Shimon can see it.
Okay. So text. So Kathy, I believe I just sent it to you. So did I go way off base? Does someone want to offer up some suggestions on shortening it or lengthening it or changing words or phraseology? I promise to absolutely not be, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I sent you the wrong document now that did I send? No, I sent you the wrong one, Kathy. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm like,
That doesn't make sense at all. Yeah.
you know, I don't want to hold up the whole conversation, Dan. You can email that to me after the meeting is fine.
Okay. Well, it's kind of a big, I'm really kind of hoping to get through this last little kind of painful piece here. What the heck did I name it? Here's my problem. Anyway, so other folks, do you want to kind of weigh in while I kind of look around here a minute and WIOA, you can see.
Dan, this is Laura Rossman.
Yep.
I'm a little behind the 8 ball, but so I'm not really sure what section this is in. I mean, it
Sure.
sounds like exactly what we want the system to be for everybody, regardless of the, you know, the circumstances, diversity, all those different things that come into play, that everyone feels welcomed in the system. So I think it says that in a very nice way. I don't think it's wordy, but again, I'm not sure what the goal of that section is.
So I'll try and share some more here in just a moment. Just so you see, really what it is So within, can you see my screen?
I can, it's very tiny. There it goes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's for, so that's the actual wordage. What it is in a section of the template, there is, we talk about system access. So within section 6, system access, there's certain requirements and certain agreed upon verbiage by the partners, the state level partners and legal teams, where they talk about, the minimum. So in a comprehensive career center, at a minimum, staff will provide direct linkages, and there's a little bit of stuff there. That comes right out of the regs. Then there is reference in the second paragraph, in compliance with the Americans with Disability Act, partners will provide. And there's some specific verbiage there. There's a statement, the partners will comply with the non-discrimination requirements in section 188 of WIOA and 29 CFR part 38. Partners will commit to periodically reassess program accessibility and adjust strategies to improve access. The partners recognize the New York State human rights law prohibits discrimination or harassment against any employee, and then the whole list of protected categories. And then there's a final paragraph. The partners understand that the New York State human rights law affords protections from employment discrimination for persons for prior convictions, prior arrest, youthful offender, and sealed records. So there's a lot of really formulaic language there. But what it does allow for is kind of an opening statement or paragraph. And really what I felt and shared at the last meeting was that I understand all the other paragraphs are the kind of the legalese, around, ADA and the various protected categories. And it's all great and wonderful. But I just wondered and really kind of suggested that the partners may want to make a statement as an opening kind of aspirational sort of pitch that does recognize a little bit of the, current cultural climate around, inclusivity and some of the other things that are going on in the world around us. And so what I had agreed to was to try and put together some verbiage that the partners could kind of react to. The other solution here, truthfully, is we don't have to do this. I mean, if we really think that it's hard or more than we want to tackle as a group, we can simply, not have that opening statement.
Well, just from my perspective, Dan, I think it's a good idea. It's just feeling a little disabled in the fact that we didn't have it ahead of the meeting, and you want to I know you want to keep this moving, but I also would like to take a review of it.
Okay. Well, I will claim ownership of not getting it out. I own that.
Well, I'm not. I know you're busy and we're busy, and I just, I'd like to speak intelligently to it, but I'd like to take a few minutes to digest it before I do that.
Okay. All right.
Dan, I do like the idea of having that wording added, whether it's this particular wording or if it's adjusted. I do like the idea of including that.
Okay. All right.
And I agree as well. And I think it's important work, and it is hard work, but I think we need to do it.
Okay. So do we want to, do we think we can kind of read and noodle on this, and do we want to try and tackle and wordsmith a little bit of this now, or do we want to try and maybe set up a 4:30 or 5 o'clock call later this week or something to kind of just tackle this statement and give everyone some time to let it bounce around in their heads and see if it makes sense to them? I leave that up to the group.
I would vote we reschedule and take a look at it ahead of the meeting, and then we can all come back with our comments.
Okay. So what we'll do then is I will have Mel. So if we did something with our goal to get it out to the counties for their legal reviews and all that fun stuff, is there, and it pains me to even say this, but a Friday later in the day type of meeting where that gives everyone kind of maximum amount of time to noodle on this. Does that work for folks? And I can kind of have Mel schedule something and we'll go from there.
Works for me.
I'm fine with that.
It works.
You're going to send us the documents in the email then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what you'll get is you'll get the MOU template such that it is written at the moment. But really, there are two pieces that you want to look at because that's really the meat of it. And the one is the WIOA Interagency Release of Information form, and that verbiage, and then this other in section 6 where we talk about that opening kind of statement. Other than that, and I know Kathy, you know, Lisa's been on the calls. The rest of the verbiage in the template really is not negotiable. The state interagencies have thrown that out there. I can't even change it in the template. I mean, the legal teams from all the various state agencies have agreed to really the rest of the document. So it'd be great to learn it and know it and kind of see how it pieces in. But really, you're looking at putting input into these, you know, 2, 3, 5 sentences here, spread out over 2 areas. All right. All right. So it's 3:15. We went a couple minutes later than I'd hoped. So what I will do, so everybody watch your emails. I will get these documents to Mel, and I will have her send it out, and we'll book a meeting for later afternoon Friday. If I did a 4 o'clock or a 4:30, or do I need to go all the way to 5 o'clock to kind of find time in folks' schedules? Where am I going to get the best availability?
I'm available most of the afternoon on Friday.
I'm pretty open as well.
Okay. Do you want me to try and slide it in at like a 3 o'clock?
That would be better.
That
Yes.
sounds great. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it pains me to even say even a 3 o'clock meeting on a Friday afternoon, but 4:30 is even more painful. All right, so that's what we'll do then. So Mel, can you, as soon as I get out of here, I'll close up these documents and send. So you're going to get 2 things from Mel, folks. You're going to get the overall MOU so you can see where these 2 sentences, paragraphs would plug into the whole. And then the actual, you know, the pieces taken out themselves. So you can kind of wordsmith it and play with it and type on it. It'll just be in a Word document. And the reason I'm having to send it as 2 is because when you actually see the fillable template that the state provides to do this, you'll discover how cumbersome it is to use it. I'm not complaining. I don't want anyone to go on record, you know, Dan's a big complainer. I'm not. But once you put stuff in there and you're trying to edit it, it's just not real user friendly. So you'll get 2 documents, long story short. All right. And I will also be plugging in between now and Friday additional information, clarifying, and I'm going to try and get the MOU template as close to finished outside of whatever we changes to make this language as I can. I will strive mightily to get a hold of Lee because they're really our only non-responsive partner to date. And my instincts, quite honestly, is I think they don't do services in our area, so they're not terribly motivated to reply to us. So I could be wrong, but that's my feeling. All right. Anything else for the good of the order from anyone?
Dan, can you and I stay on so we can talk about CSEP?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn, although we aren't legally required to have one. It's more of a formality.
I'll move.
All right. So I'm not hearing anybody who's opposing the motion, so we'll call this meeting done. Thank you all very much. Watch your email for something from Mel.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.